We will start in 2 minutes, sir. Okay, sir. Twenty of them joined. They will be joining slowly, sir. Totally 50 participants have registered. Shall we start, sir? Slowly we can start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, good evening to everyone. We have assembled here for the online international workshop on statistics using Jamovi, organized by So good evening again. We have assembled here for the online international workshop on statistics using Jamovi, organized by Akman Foundation and Seva Academy. Here our resource person is Dr. Raju Chaudhary, sir. I'd like to introduce sir. So sir has completed, sir is a full-time associate professor of statistics at MG Science Institute, Ahmedabad. Sir has won awards and honors throughout his educational career. He was awarded Professor S.M. Shah Gold Medal for securing first position in MSc Statistics. He was also awarded BPM Golden Jubilee Fund Gold Medal for completion of his PhD. Sir enjoys teaching and learning advanced tools for statistical data analysis. Sir has published 7 research papers to his credit. Maybe now it is more. Yes, sir. He possesses comprehensive knowledge of various statistical softwares like R programming, SPSS, Minitab, MS Excel, Python programming. Sir has provided consultancy services to implement Gandhinagar and development of online data exploration tool for ICSSR New Delhi, funded by ICSSR New Delhi. Sir has created 2 websites. Sir will be telling in the program in a while. Sir has been invited as an expert at various institutions of national repute. Sir has conducted numerous workshops on statistical data analysis using various tools like MS Excel, SPSS, or programming for faculties and students of different domains. Sarah has delivered more than 50 different sessions on R programming at various institutions. So next time we can have R programming, I think, sir.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We are very happy to welcome you to the session. The session is now yours, sir. Please.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, all. And today's session is about the overview of Jamovi. As many of you know that there are different statistical softwares available in the market for the analysis. Some softwares are commercial softwares. Some softwares are open source softwares. So for the commercial softwares, as you know, we have to pay the cost of the software, but open source, so we can use open source software anytime, anywhere, right? And it is throughout the globe, anyone can use that software. So basically, Jamovi is developed after the development of R. So many of you are familiar with programming languages. So there are different programming languages. So R is one of the programming language. And the interesting part is R is developed by the statisticians. The programming language is developed by the statisticians. But the problem with R programming is that it is a command based, console based, right? So you have to remember all the commands for statistical analysis. Uh, and you may also familiar with SPSS. So SPSS is a commercial software in which we have a GUI based. It is a GUI based software, that is graphic user interface. So just we have to use the we have to use the statistical options from the menu, right? No need to remember any command. Okay. So because R required that command and it is console based, so definitely it is difficult for the user to remember all the commands for various statistical methods. So Jamovi is a open source software developed on the top of R programming. So those who are not comfortable with using R programming, but if they want the analysis using R, so they can use Jamovi, because in Jamovi, no need to remember any command. Just we have to use the graphic user interface to select proper statistical analysis, right? So those who are using SPSS, for them it is similar, but compared to SPSS, Jamovi is more interactive in the sense, in SPSS, we get the output. That output is a static output. Static output means once you have created the output, so that output is stable, fixed. So after applying certain statistical method in SPSS, whatever the output you get, that is fixed static. Okay. So later on, if we change some data or some columns, then we have to rerun the analysis in SPSS. In Jamovi, the output is a dynamic output, user friendly, right? As compared to SPSS, it is very useful, and the most important thing, it is open source. So anyone can use it for the statistical analysis, for the research project also. So no cost is required, right? So for the research minor or major research project, we can use Jamovi because no cost is required to purchase the Jamovi. It is open source. Okay. So it is very user friendly. Interactive output we get. The graphs are very interactive and high density graphs as compared to SPSS, and the analysis part is very straightforward, right? So those who are familiar with SPSS, In SPSS, we have two windows, two tabs in a one window, that is a data view and variable view. And after applying the analysis, it will open a new window, that is your output window. So here in Jamovi, everything is there in a single window. Your data is there. You can change the data source. You can change the variable types and all these things. So data view as well as variable view. So that is there in the same window. And after applying the statistical analysis, the output will appear in the uh, same window by splitting the entire screen into half part. We will see that one by one. Okay. So in today's session, we will discuss about the overview of Jamovi. Then what is the navigation bar? What are the different options available in the navigation bar? How to install some add-on modules. As you know that now even in SPSS also, there are different modules available. When you purchase SPSS, it comes with the base installation. If you want some additional module, advanced statistical analysis tools, so we have to again pay the fee, we have to pay the cost, and then you can take it and you can install it, and then only you can use that, right? In Jamovi, there are different modules, and all these modules are developed by different statisticians, different experts, data analyst experts throughout the globe, and it comes under the umbrella of Jamovi. So how to install the additional modules, then how to enter the data in Jamovi, because in statistical software, the most important part is the data handling. Once you enter your data properly, once you import your data in the required software, the next step is you have to define the variable types and different that data types. Okay, so thus it is same as that in SPSS, but compared to SPSS in Jamovi, it is quite interactive, right? So we will see the hands-on, that means how to do that. So actually online for online session, it is not possible to perform the hands-on, but I will share my presentation. I will share the data file also. So whenever you get time, you can just go through the presentation and you can create your own data file in Jamovi, right? How to prepare the data file and how to use the data management in Jamovi. Okay. So actually this Jamovi, it is known as a third generation statistical spreadsheet. Okay. So you all are familiar with spreadsheet, that is Excel, right? But that is a second generation spreadsheet. So what is the first generation spreadsheet? The first generation spreadsheet is Lotus 123, when no windows are there, right? Though when no windows is there, so we have a DOS based spreadsheet, that is Lotus 123. That is first generation. Excel is a second generation, and this Jamovi is a third generation statistical spreadsheet. It is open source statistical platform for the statistical analysis. It is built on the top of R programming language. R is specifically for the statistics, statistical analysis, and machine learning applications, right? It is an alternative to the commercial statistical software, right? As it is open source, so it is an alternative to the commercial statistical software to save the cost of calculations or cost of the project. It is a multi-platform, right? So Jamovi is available for Windows, for Mac operating system, for Linux operating system, even for Chrome operating system, it is available, right? Even though if you don't want to install Jamovi on your in your desktop or in your laptop, you can use Jamovi on the cloud itself. So there is a cloud version of Jamovi also. Only the thing is we have to log in to that website, and then we can use, without installing the software, we can use Jamovi. Okay, so these are the 5 important points about the Jamovi, right? And the website for the Jamovi is jamovi.org. Just if you Google installation of Jamovi or download Jamovi, so your first page will appear like this, jamovi.org, right? And you can see here Jamovi Cloud and Jamovi Desktop. If you don't want to install, just click on the Cloud button and it will you can use that on the cloud server. Okay, if you want to install that, then just click on this button and then follow the steps, right? So it will open a new page. In the new page, actually this is my older screenshot. So currently we have the advanced version, okay, of Jamovi. So this is 2.3.26 solid and 2.3.28 current, right? So try to remember the difference. Just remember the difference between the solid version and current version. So current version is under development, right? That is why it is the next module, right? But the solid version, it is tested and implemented and verified. So that is your solid version. So we have to select the solid version. Later on, once this 2.3.28 or the newer version, which is current, it becomes solid and then further development is there. Okay. So there is a huge community of Jamovi users and Jamovi developers. So you can see here developers hub on the top, forum, and there are certain blogs. Okay, so those who wants to learn, they can go through this. Those who wants to develop the package for their own purpose and they want to share, so that can also be possible, right? Then just download this file. So this is, once you click here, it will download the executable file based upon your Windows operating system, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. Accordingly, it will download the file. After that, just double click on the file, executable file, and just follow the instruction. Because you are installing first time, just follow the instruction, default installation, right? Once it is done, now Jamovi is ready to use. So you can use Jamovi, right? So this is the screen of the Jamovi. When you open Jamovi, it looks like this. Say, for example, let me show you. Uh, so see, this is the Jamovi, which I am using 2.3.26, right? So just click on that. Once you click on that, it will open a Jamovi window, right? So this is my Jamovi screen. Okay, this is my Jamovi screen. You can see here there are 3 lines, right? Then we have variables tab, we have data tab, we have analysis tab, we have edit tab. So there are 4 different tabs available, right? And under the tab, we have ribbons, right? So this is the ribbon, right? These are the ribbons. When you click on the tab, accordingly the ribbons will change. The most important tab for the analysis is the analysis tab, under which we have different statistical options are available, right? In the default installation, you can see only 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 5. Okay. In the default installation, we can see only 5 icons under the analysis tab on this ribbon. Okay. So all these are the additional modules which I have installed for the advanced analysis. Okay. So for the advanced analysis, we can install the modules. I will show you how to install the modules also. Right. Now, if you look at the screen here, by default, the left hand side shows the spreadsheet view and the right hand side shows the result view, right? That means the output window, right? And you can navigate through this center line, right? So you can increase or decrease the size of that particular window. Okay. So, and by default, these are the references. If you have used Jamovi, so in your references, in your analysis, in your research article or dissertation, don't forget to put these references, because you have used the software Jamovi. Okay, so one is about the R core team and another is about the Jamovi. Okay, so to the left hand side we have the spreadsheet. By default there are three columns, A, B and C, right? If you want to add more, we can add as many columns as we want. Okay, and to the right hand side simply we have the result section, and below that we get the output. Once you carry out the analysis, automatically the output will be added and the references will be shifted at the bottom of the page. Okay, so this is the structure of the Jamovi screen. Okay, at the same time, so this is a spreadsheet part, this is the result output. Okay, and then what is a navigation bar? So as I told you, this is the navigation bar. Okay, so these three lines, that is the menu. When you click on the three lines, it will open up the menu. Okay, it will open up the menu. Now almost everyone is familiar with these three lines and the menu. Okay, so there are some options available. You can create a new file, you can open a file, you can import special file, you can save or save as, export, and what are the recent files you have used. So that is under the menu, right? So this is the menu. Then we have the tabs. Variables tab, that is used for handling variables and their data types. What type of data is stored under that particular variable. Then we have a data tab also. Under the data tab also, that is another way to handle the variables. Let me show you. So look at this. When I go to the variable, it shows me the variable view here, right? When I click on the variables tab, it shows me the variable view, right? At the same time, at the top, that means on the ribbon, you can see the edit option, you can see the compute option, transform or add. In the add option, so whenever you see that down arrow, right? So there are some additional options available. You can insert the data, append the data, computed variable, transform variable, right? At the same time, we have the filtering. So filtering is also there in this, right? So this is a variable tab. Okay, then the data tab. Under the data tab also the same type of options are available, but in a different way. So look at the variable tab. In the variable tab, your spreadsheet will disappear. It is there, but it shows only the variable part. Okay, in the data tab, your spreadsheet, you can see the spreadsheet and you can change, say from the setup. When you click on the setup, it will split the screen into two halves. Okay, and then you can change the variable name, you can add the description and so on. We will see all these options in detail. Okay, so this is about the same thing happens here. When you click on the edit tab under the variable, same options are there. Okay, so this is either you can use variable option, variable tab, or you can use data tab to handle the data. Okay, to handle the data and their data types, you can use any of the two. Okay, and the most important, that is the analysis tab, right? So all type of statistical analysis tools are available under the analysis tab only. Okay, so actually we can see you can see here limited options are there, but say for example in the analysis, when I click on the exploration, I have some additional options available. Okay, when I click on the t-test, I have some additional options available. Okay, so these are the drop down menu, right? So main topic is exploration. Under exploration, what are the different menu options are available. Similarly, say for example, ANOVA. So in the analysis of variance, we have all this type of analysis of variance techniques. Same way in the regression, we have different type of regression analysis technique. In the frequencies, we have different type of frequency analysis techniques. So we will see all these options in detail in upcoming session. Okay, so this is about the analysis tab. And finally, the last tab, that is the edit tab. Okay, so actually this edit tab is to edit the output, right? Is to edit your output, right? It is not related to the data. or data sheet or spreadsheet, right? So this edit tab is applicable only for this. Okay, it is applicable for this option. So whatever the analysis we get here, for that analysis, we can add certain options, right? We can use the alignment, you can use the bullets, you can use the numbers, you can insert the mathematical formula, you can insert the code, right? You can insert hyperlink, some additional tools are there. So this is just to edit the output of your analysis. Okay, so this is about the edit tab, right? And the last one, when you are in the analysis tab, right? When you are on the analysis tab, here there is a last option to the extreme right, that is plus, white plus. So that is the modules. So modules means additional software or additional packages or libraries which we can install. Say for example, in this case, in my screen, this factor. So factor is an additional module, linear model, that is additional module, right? Similarly, here you can see the structural equation modeling, SEM, right? So meta analysis, right? Then snow clustering, right? So all these are the additional modules which we can install, and after installing the module, we can use the options or statistical methods available in that module for our data. Okay, so this is all about. One more thing, so there are so these two points are there. One is these three dots, right? So when you click on the three dots, right, so it will give you the options. When suppose you want to zoom the screen, say for example, I want to zoom the screen, so I can zoom the screen. Look at this, you can see the effect of that, right? So the entire screen will be zoomed. Okay, similarly, number format. In the output, whatever the outputs are there, say for example, test statistics value or correlation coefficient. So what type of format you want, decimal places, significant places, right? So that you can decide. Then p-value format, up to how many significant figures you want or how many significant places you want to put, right? So that is there. References, whether visible, you want to visual, whether visible or hidden. So that syntax mode, right? So actually while using Jamovi, it will give you the output only. But at the same time, if you want R syntax for your analysis, so just in that case, select the syntax mode, tick mark this. So automatically whatever the analysis you have used, so accordingly in your output, it will show you the corresponding R code also. And that R code you can use for another analysis in R programming also, right? Similarly, these plotting options are there. So this is under these three dots, right? Similarly, here we have this option, right? So this is just to increase or decrease the output size, output window. Okay, so this is all about the overview of Jamovi navigation bar. Okay, so this is already I have explained you. So in the menu part, we have new, open, special import, right? So for example, when I click new, so it will create a new Jamovi file. When I click on the open, it will ask me from where you want to open the file, right? So you can choose the folder of your choice, click on the browse and select the file, and accordingly you can open that data file from your computer, right? Or there are two options, one is this PC and another is a data library. So this PC means whatever the data you want to open from your PC, from your folder, right? So that you can open from this PC by using this browse option. Okay, but suppose you want to open a data which comes with Jamovi. So under in Jamovi, there are some ready-made built-in data sets available. So when I click on the data library, so look at this. These are the built-in data sets available. Say for example, we have the iris data, we have tooth data, right? Then suppose I have installed the structural equation modeling. So when I click on that, so for structural equation modeling, I have the built-in data set available, right? Same way for multivariate analysis, I have different data sets available. So these are at the same time for the practice purpose. Say for example, I have this wine data available in Jamovi. So what is the that means for what kind of analysis this data can be used. So it is mentioned here, multiple factor analysis, right? Say for example, children who suffered from food poisoning. So that is the data available in Jamovi, and that can be used for multiple correspondence analysis. Okay. Say for example, this is this crime data. We can use that data for hierarchical clustering, for principal component analysis, right? Similarly for MDS, for clustered endogram, right? So it is very interactive as compared to SPSS, right? So depending upon the requirement, we can choose the data from, say, different types of data are available. So you can choose the data. Otherwise, at least for learning purpose, right? For learning purpose, say for example, I want to learn, say for example, I want to learn this multivariate analysis, right? And I want to learn hierarchical clustering, right? So obviously, just open this data and then apply some techniques. So you apply some commands from the menu, so you will get idea. That means for hierarchical clustering, what kind of data is required. Okay, so this is very interesting and very interactive features available in Jamovi as compared to SPSS, right? So this is how we can export the output, right? So see, there are options available. You can export the output. See, in SPSS, once you create the analysis, charts, analysis, tables, everything, then you can export that output as a Word format, right? Or PDF format. So here we have the options. We can export as a PDF format. Even if we have a tabular data, we can export as a CSV format, right? We can export as a SPSS format, R format, and most important, we can export the output as an HTML page so that user can upload that particular HTML page directly on his or her website, right? Because HTML to create HTML page you have to learn HTML, right? And then you can use that on your output. But here it directly gives you the HTML output. Okay, so this is how this menu options, under the menu options we have different possible options available. Okay, so this is I have already explained. Another thing, say for example in the menu, because I have increased the size. 1 minute. Okay, so under the menu, when you click on the open button, right? When you click on the open button, it shows this PC. So here we have different options. Remember, in the data library, we have default data sets available. These are the built-in data set. But in my PC, so here, if you click on the data files, so these are the different data files which we can open in Jamovi. It may be a CSV file, it may be a text file, JSON file, open document, or it may be Excel file, it may be SPSS, it may be R data file, SAS data file, right? So these are the options available, right? Suppose we have a CSV file, so we can open a CSV file or text file, data file directly in Jamovi. Okay, so that option is also there. Another is, so this data library I have already explained you, right? So built-in data sets. Now in the variable view, variable tab, right? So when you go to the variable tabs, there are some additional options available. Okay, there are some additional options available. So look at this. When you click on this add button, so you can insert the variable, you can append the variable, right? So insert and append, two things are different. It is very interactive. Look at the icon. Insert means In between the two column, you can insert a new column, new variable. Append means at the end of the data, it will append a new data, new variable, right? Exactly same way, compute variable. You can compute between two variable. You can compute a new variable and append it at the end of the data. Same the transformation. We will see all these three options. Inserting the data, variable, is computing the variable and transforming the variable, right? Another option is this plus sign, right? So from here also you can use, say for example, currently I am at A, okay? A is highlighted, and when I use insert data variable, so look at this, automatically before A it will add another variable, and here I can change the name. Say for example, I want to make it as, say for example, age. So automatically it will appear. And here we can write the description, age of respondent. Okay. So it is for the user. This is for the user. Okay. This is for the Jamovi. Okay. Variable name and variable description. Right. This is the name. This is description. And at the same time, it appears here also. Look at the extreme left. Okay. So you can see that. Again, when you click on the edit button, right? So that windows, that splitted window will close. Okay. So this is how we can edit the variable. Suppose I am currently at B, right? And then I am using insert variable. So look at this. Before A, it is inserted, right? Suppose I am at currently C2 and I am using add and append variable. So look at this. It will be added after C, right? After the full data. That means last column. It will add in the last column. So look at this. I have, these are the variables. First is age, A, C2, B, C, F, right? We can change the variable name. Now, another important point is before the variable name, we can see a small icon, right? You can see the small icon. Say for example, see the small icon here, three circles, right? These three circles, that is the indication of a type of variable, type of data, or type of variable, right? So when you click on the setup, so you can see here variable name, variable description, and measure type. So there are basically three types of data. Okay, actually two types of data. One is a quantitative data, another is a qualitative data. Quantitative data is further classified into discrete and continuous. Discrete means countable values, number of children, number of cars, right? So it is countable values. And continuous means height of a person, blood pressure of a person, right? So that is a fractional value. That is continuous. Qualitative data, which is further classified into two categories. One is a nominal data and ordinal data. So nominal means just a classification, categorization of data. Say for example, my one of the variable is gender of a respondent, right? So I can classify every individual into two or three categories, like male or female, or it may be male, female, and transgender, right? So here just categorization, that is known as a nominal data. Examples are gender, blood group, right? City, right? You can take lot many examples, right? Similarly, ordinal data. In ordinal data, again, it is a qualitative data type. Ordinal means again, categorization is there. At the same time, along with categorization, we can order the categories. Say, for example, economical status of a person, right? So when we collect the data on economical status, so economical status, it is below some value, we call it as low economical status. Between some values, if the income is between some values, then we call it as medium. Above, we call it as high. Okay. So categorization is there. Economical status is categorized into low, medium, and high. At the same time, low, medium, high. So order is important. Another example is grade obtained by the student. That is again the example of ordinal, right? So see the icon before the label. Nominal, three circle. So it is a Venn diagram. Ordinal, so the order is important. It shows the bar graph and increasing. So order is important. Continuous, that is a scale type data. Scale means measurable data, either discrete or continuous. And the last one, which is not there in SPSS, that is ID. Okay, so that is ID. And remember, whenever you collect any kind of data through questionnaire, always enter the first column as ID or serial number. The reason is, when you analyze the data during the analysis process, many times you sort the data with respect to some variable, right? Sort with respect to another variable, or you filter the data, again sort the data, and at the end, suppose you want original data, the first respondent, second respondent, then if ID is not there, you cannot again get the original format, right? So that is why if your first column is ID, apply the sorting, ascending, descending order with respect to different variable. And once your task is finished, then again sort according to uh, ID. So you will get the original data 1 to 3 onwards. That is why ID is important, right? So this ID is not there in SPSS, right? In SPSS, we can see nominal, ordinal, and scale. So scale in Jamovi, we call it as a continuous. Okay. At the same time, under the data type, we have, by default, it is integer. Okay. So it is integer, decimal, or text. So these three types of data can be handled in Jamovi. Another important is, suppose we have the missing values. How to handle the missing values, right? That means how to take care of the missing values. So we have that missing values option. Okay. And when we have a nominal data, see, when I select ordinal, automatically that variable tab, right? The label, it will be changed. Look at this. Here it shows now F is ordinal type data, right? Another way to go to the setup mode is just double click on the variable. Okay. So it is one and the same. Either go from data tab or from variable tab, or double click on this, right? And just to close this, put press click on this up arrow, right? Double click. Okay. Just double click and press on this. Okay. Another important thing is, you can navigate from one variable to another variable. Okay. See, you can navigate from one variable to another variable using this option. Okay. So all these things are there in Jamovi. Okay. So let us move to the next part. So this is about the variable tab, which consists of transform variable, compute variable, and data tab. It is also possible to get this from this plus icon, right? So when you are on the analysis tab, okay, so look at this. These are the different options. So here, when you are in the variable view, so we have this plus icon. From here also you can navigate, or from here also you can navigate, or from data tab also you can navigate. Okay, so these are additional facilities available to handle the variable names, variable data types, variable type, right? So all these things, right? So this is how we can use this, right? And see, already I have mentioned in my presentation, this is a variable name, variable description, right? And suppose your variable is, say, nominal variable. So for example, say gender, and I have coded it as 0 for male, 1 for female. Okay, so that labelings we can use here. And you can reorder the labels, you can move to the next variable, we can add additional label, 0 for male, 1 for female, and say for example 2 for transgender, right? Once the task is completed, you can click on this up arrow and it will hide this window and you can see the entire screen. Okay, you can see the entire screen. Okay, so this is one thing, right? Under the data tab, same options are available. We have one additional options under data tab, that is filtering of the data, right? So you can filter the data. Okay, and not only that, you can filter as many variable as you want, not on a one or two variable, as many variable as you want, right? So you can filter that just by clicking on this. You can add another filter, right? And you can see here the columns are added in the data according to the filter 1, according to the filter 2. You can remove the filter just by clicking on that. So look at this. Now only one filter is there. And here we have to give the conditions, right? Say for example, I have the data about gender, male, female column, right? And I want only male. So I can specify here that gender equal to male. So it will select only male data. And the interesting thing, if you have filtered the data and then you carry out the analysis, it will be applicable to the filter data only. That means that analysis is carried out only for that selected filtered data. Okay, so this is how we can filter. Okay, so this is again the same thing under the data tab, right? So variable name, description, reordering the labels, you can add the labels, next variable, right? You can take this already I have explained you. Measure type, we have nominal, ordinal, continuous, and ID. And under the data type, we have integer, decimal, and text. Okay, so this is a very small example I have taken to understand how to input the data or how to import the data. Suppose my data is available in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so I can directly import that data. Okay, or if you want to create your own data, so you can create in Jamovi directly or create in Microsoft Excel and import that data to Jamovi. That is also possible. Okay, so here I have taken this four columns. One is ID, then gender, then socioeconomical status, and age, right? So just to do this, what I can do? So already I have this file. Say for example, for simplicity, let us remove this filter. Okay, and then in the data tab, what is my first column? My first column is ID. So here I can enter ID, right? Then here ID of the respondent. Okay, and then I can select here ID. Okay, so automatically you can see the icon for the variable is changed, right? Now in the next variable, my next variable is say for example gender. So here I can write gender, right? So I can write here gender of respondent, right? And then obviously it is a nominal, so I can keep it as nominal as it is, right? And then now what I want to create the labels, right? I want to create the label. So to create the labels, we can click on this plus button, right? So just click on the plus button and then you can use this. So say for example, plus button. So here it is 0, then okay, right? Again, add another label, say 1, okay. And here you can write, right? So see, this is how we have created 0 for male, 1 for female, right? So in the box, you can either enter a numerical value or text, right? Say for example, here I can enter male, here I can enter female. Okay, so this is how we can change. If you want to reorder the label, so you can use this option, right? Reorder the label. Okay, so this is very easy technique, right? So this is how we can enter the data, right? And once you enter the data, then the next part, that is the next variable. So what is the next variable? it is a socio-economical status. So here I can enter ACS. You can write the socio, right? Economic status. Okay. Again, this is socio-economic status. It is ordinal type data. Again, here you can use the labels, right? Say for example, 1, then 2, and then say for example 3, right? So obviously here I can use the label also, low economical status, right? I can use medium economical status, or I can use high economical status, right? So this is how we can enter. And the last column, that is, see, once you understand how to enter the data, rest of the part is very simple. Okay. So this is about the economical status. Okay. And suppose you want to create a new variable. Okay. You want to create a new variable. So you can see already I have these variables. Okay. Now, okay, let me show you another thing. Now, suppose I want to remove these variables, right? So just right click on that, right? And you can use cut. Sorry, you can do one thing. Okay, so here the option delete variable, right? So it will delete the variable, right? It will delete the variable very quickly. Okay, now see, I have this up to 3 variables I have. So when I click on SES, and here there is no further variable actually in my spreadsheet, right? So when I click on this next button, you can see the option, right? So either you can compute the variable, you can transform the variable, or you can create a new data variable. And then you can write here, say for example, age of respondent, right? And it is a scale type data, that is continuous data, right? Because it is continuous, so no need to give the labels. Okay, so look at this. This is how we can create a data continuous, right? And then simply we can enter the data here, right? Say for example, let us see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am randomly entering, right? Say for example, male, female, male, right? Male, female, right? And say female. And here HES, I am randomly entering. As per the data, you can enter, right? Okay. So this is about the age. Say for example, in the age column, I have 32, 30, 32, 43, minus 45, and say 34, and I'm keeping this one blank, right? So see, the same thing I have entered in the previous one. Okay. So now how to handle the missing values? So blank field will be considered as missing. So see, here I have not entered anything. So in age column, I have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 respondents data. So this is a missing value. Okay. Even I want to avoid this minus 45. It may be data entry error. So I want to consider it as a missing value. So for that, we can use the condition, right? So how to do that? So just double click on the age, and here in the missing column, you can add here the missing, right? The source, right? So again, I repeat, right? See, when I click on this missing, click on the missing, a new window will pop up, right? Then add missing value. So this is the source variable, right? And I have to give here a condition. When the condition means whether when the value age is less than 0. Okay, less than 0. That's it. Okay, then it will be considered as a missing value. Now you can see here that minus 45 is in the gray color. Okay, so depending upon your requirement, you can mention the missing values. Okay, so this is about the missing values, right? So you can add missing values as per your requirement. right? And then you can go to the analysis tab, okay, for the further analysis, right? So what are the options available? So that already I have explained you: exploration, t-test, ANOVA, regression, frequencies. These are the default, right? Additional modules. These are the additional modules which I have installed in my PC, right? Now, what is the analysis? Say in the analysis. So see, in the analysis tab, in your case, you can see only two options, right? You can see only two options, right? Like descriptive scatter plot and Pareto chart. In my software, there are lot many options. Why? Because this particular option is available in clinico path descriptive, right? So if you can see the module, so I have used that clinico module also, right? For the clinico-pathological analysis, I have installed that module, and that is why the additional four menu options are available. These four menu options are available. This is available for the comparison. This is for the descriptive plot. This is for the descriptive, right? So depending upon the type of module you have installed, the options available under any tab, they are different, right? Say in the analysis tab. So it all these are by default, right? So in the regression also it is same, right? Say for example, factor. So factor analysis, it may not be there in your case, right? Or in the linear model, it may not be there in your case if it is not installed. Okay. So this is about the analysis tab, right? Edit already I have explained you. Now how to install the module. It is a very simple technique how to install the module, right? So just remember one thing: to install the module, that option is available only under the analysis tab. So when I click on the data tab, here there is no option to the right side, right? In the analysis, you can see the module. Just click on the module and go to the Jamovi library or manage installed or Jamovi library. So look at this. When you click on that, it shows the different, see, three tabs are there installed. So actually these packages, say clinico-pathological descriptive, right? Or clinico-pathological research. So this module I have installed. That is why it is used for survival analysis. Okay. So that is why it is available in my software, right? And these are the available modules, right? So say installed means it is already installed. RJ, that is the editor to run R code. So it is not installed. When I click here, automatically it will be installed. But for that, you require the net connection, right? So this is how we can install different modules available, right? So lot many modules are available for the statistical analysis or higher statistical analysis, right? So this is about the installation, right? Then the next part is hands-on. So actually hands-on is not possible in the online mode, but still I will share this data file at the end of the session so you can just practice, right? So I have one data file which is Excel file. Let me show you that also so that you get clear idea, right? So this is my Excel data file, right? So see, in the Excel data file, there are some number of variables, right? From A, B, C, D up to L. So these many variables are there, right? First row is the name of the variable. Say for example, ID, gender, economical status, education, weight, height, and so on, right? And it is already coded. Okay, it is already coded. If you go to the bottom, I have 100 respondents data, right? So this is the data for a hard study. Okay, this is the data for hard study. So some variables like gender, SES, education, then smoking status, physical activity, all these are the categorical variable. All remainings are the scale variables or continuous variables. Okay, suppose I have this type of data file, right? And then how to See, this is the description. What are the code, right? So one for female, two for male. So see, when you conduct a survey and when you enter the data, so remember the coding system, what you are using. Coding is just for the software purpose, right? Because when you are dealing with categorical data, so one for female, two for male, or you can use zero for female, one for male. So it is up to the user, right? So this is how, right? Some variables are categorical, some variables are continuous. That is a scale variable. Okay. Now, how to open this data file? So look at this. Go to the menu, right? And this PC and select the file, right? So let me show you. So say for example, mm, okay, go to the file, then open, right? And then go to the browse, okay, and select the Excel file. This is my Excel file, Microsoft Excel workbook. Okay, so this is my Excel file. So just open that file and see your entire data will be opened in Jamovi from Excel. It is imported from Jamovi into Excel. Look at this, 100 observations are there and navigation as usual, right? Similar to a Microsoft Excel, right? You can navigate from one row to another, one column to another column, okay, one cell to another cell, right? See, at the top, it shows. Now, say, for example, I want to change the data type. By default, all, almost all, when it sees the numbers 1, 2, 3, it will be considering it as the categorical. At some places it will be considering as a scale variable, right? So you can change that. Just double click on that, and here id, it is a tag. Id means it is a tag, right? A serial number. Then gender, it is nominal, right? Then SES, it is ordinal. So just go on changing this, right? Education level, it is again ordinal type data, right? Then weight, it is a scale type data, right? So it is very simple. Height, it is scale type. Age, it is also scale type. Then we have smoking status, nominal. Then we have physical activity, nominal. We have blood glucose, continuous. This is also continuous. Then this SBP, systolic blood pressure, that is also continuous, right? So these many variables I have. Okay. At the same time, I can change the labels also, right? Say for example, here I can change, you can add the description, you can add here one for male, okay? This is one for male and two for, sorry, one for female, because it is already mentioned in my data file, okay? And this is for two for female. Look at this. As soon as I change here, automatically in my worksheet, 1 and 2 are replaced by the corresponding labels. Okay, 1 and 2 are replaced by the corresponding labels. Okay, so it is very easy. Say for example, SES, right? So here I can write low economical status. Here I can write high economical status. Then medium, sorry, middle one is MES, and this is HES, right? And then just simply click this up arrow. Now see, and anytime you can change this, right? Say for example, this is HES, okay? Then look at this. So this is now, it is ordinal type data, right? So it is very simple to manipulate the, that means reorder or code the data in Jamovi. Okay, so this is about the opening the data file and changing the, you can change this in the variable view also. So directly from here also, say for example, I want to add the description. So I can add gender of respondent, right? Then I can add here, I can add here, right? That you can do, or just double click on that and you can change the data type also, right? So it is very straightforward and easy, right? So this is how we can change. And then you have to prepare the entire data file. How you have to prepare? By changing the data type, okay, by changing the measure type and data type, right? So this is how you can add everything. Say for example, weight. So weight in kilogram, height in centimeter, age in years, right? Whatever the data we have, whatever the variable name we have, right? And then you can change the labels also, right? All these are the labels, female, male, right? Say for example, in education, primary, none, higher secondary, secondary, intermediate, whatever, right? And then once you prepared that, you can just click on this save, right? And now that file will be saved as OMB. Remember, you have opened Excel file, imported Excel file, and now you, after changing, after coding, you can save that data file as a Jamovi file, right? Remember the difference. Excel file is simply a data. Jamovi file is a data sheet along with the output. Okay, it is data sheet along with the output. Say for example, let me show you that data file. So this is the data file which I have created. Say this is the data file which I have created. Okay, see all the data. Okay, and this is the output. Okay, so look at this output. I will show you that also, right? So but before that, let us continue this. So we can save the data file. Just specify the name, specify the location, and you can save that data file. Okay, now this is all about opening a data file, coding a data file, saving a data file, importing or opening, coding, and saving a particular data file, right? Now the next part is data management. Once you have prepared the entire data file, say for example, this is what I have. This is my data file. Okay. This is my complete data file. Okay. See, all the variables are coded properly. Okay. So let me open that another data file so that 1 minute. Okay. Because in this data file, okay, here also, let us remove this because that we have calculated. Okay. Up to this, we have the data file. So this is my original data file. Okay. Now the problem is many times we have to manipulate the data. We have to manage the data, right? So how to manage the data? You want to compute a new variable from the existing variable. Say for example, I have taken this example because particularly in the health study or in public health, we have height and weight, and on the basis of height and weight, we can calculate the body mass index, right? So when we collect the data, and suppose we want to study the body mass index, so we never collect the data about the body mass index from the respondent or from the patient. We collect the data about height and data about weight, and then on the basis of that we can calculate the body mass index, right? And on the basis of that we can classify the patient or individual into different categories. Okay, so compute the variable from the existing or use some function. Many time we want to compute the logarithmic of the variable, right? Log of the variable, or we want to convert under root that variable to say under root of the variable, calculate under root of the variable, right? So we can use different functions to compute a new variable, or we can transform from existing variable to another variable, right? So existing variable, say for example, height, weight, these are the two variable. Using the two variable, suppose I want to compute another variable, that is body mass index. So I can use this technique, transform technique, or transform variable into new variable by recoding. Recoding means by labeling. making it into a categorical type data. Or you want to filter the data row wise, observation wise you want to filter, or multiple conditions you want to add, right? On multiple variables you want to add filter. So that is possible in the Jamovi, right? Now see how to do this, creating a new variable. So that already I have shown you, that just double click on the blank column, right? So just double click on the blank column. So it will create, 1 minute, this is the old file. Okay, so just double click on the blank column, it will show you a new variable, right? So you can see that, double click and you will get a options, new data variable or compute a variable or transformed variable. Okay, now how to compute? So when to use this type of options, right? Many times your data is available. Say for example, let us think about the height data. Your height is in terms of the feet, and you want to convert it into a meter for the analysis purpose. It may be in centimeter, or you want to convert it into meter, right? Or you want to transform, right? Say for example, this one. So one or more variables to compute a new variable. Body mass index equal to weight, which is in kilogram, height, which is in meter. So it is weight upon height square. So this is the standard universal formula to compute a body mass index. Your weight must be in kilogram, height must be in meter. So weight upon height square. This is the formula to compute the, okay. But in my data, if you look at the data, in my data, the variable, in the variable view, look at this. What is given? Weight, that is in kilogram, height, that is in centimeter, right? So my height column is in centimeter, but here I have to use meter, height square in meter, right? So how to convert that? So I can use weight upon height square, or this meter can be converted to centimeter. So we get the formula weight into 10,000 divided by height square. Now height can be considered as a in centimeter. Okay, so this is the formula which I have to use, right? Now how to do this in Jamovi, right? So see, click on the data tab, click on the compute button, right? So look at this, click on the data tab, click on the compute button. When you click on the compute, it will appear like this, okay? And then simply type here body mass index. You can write fully body mass index, right? And then we have to create a formula, right? So we have to create a formula. So if you click here on fx, it shows the different functions available, right? So these are the function. If you want to take e to the power, or if you want to take the natural logarithm of the variable, if you want to take log to the base 10, if you want to take square root of the variable, or if you want to calculate the mean of some variable, right? So these are some functions available. To the right hand side, we can see the variables, whatever the variables are available, that, right? At the same time, when your cursor, see, when you click on that function, it gives you the help for that. Okay, so this is available under this fx button. Okay, but here I don't want to use that, but directly I want to write the formula. So I can write the formula here, equal to, it is already there, and here you can write the formula, right? Now how to write the formula? So you can use the variable. Okay, so here you can, sorry, you can use the variable weight into 10,000 divided by bracket height and square. Okay, so this is the formula. Look at this. As soon as I entered, see the column BMI, right? Look at this. The BMI column is calculated, and not only for one, for all the individuals the BMI column is calculated, right? Now surprisingly, why it is calculated here in between? Because my current column is this age, So before that it is calculated BMI, right? Again, if you double click, you can change the formula as per your requirement, right? So it is very easy to compute the variable, right? Very easy to compute the variable. Look at this. And another important thing, the computed variable for original variables, it shows only the name, but for the computed variable, it shows the dot here. See the dot, BMI and this dot, black dot. Okay, so it shows for the computed variable. Okay, now same way you can transform the variable. Say for example, you want to categorize the existing variable into on the basis of the numerical variable, right? Or you want to use the logarithmic transformation, or you want to use the square root, or you want to calculate the standardized variable z score, right? That is x minus mean upon standard deviation. So it is very easy to do this in Jamovi. Okay, say for example, now in the previous step we have computed body mass index for all the respondent based upon the formula weight upon height square, right? So that is the formula which we have used. Okay, now suppose I know according to the World Health Organization, we can classify every individual into different categories of body mass status. If the body mass index of the respondent is less than 18.5, we call it as underweight. If it is 18.5 to 24.9, it is normal weight. 25.0 to 29.9, overweight. Within this range, it is obese, and above 35, it is extremely obese. Okay, so in this case, we are converting a numerical variable into a categorical variable, right? But this is in categorical, we have two categories, two types. What are the two types? Nominal and ordinal. Okay. In this case, since the body mass BMI status is depending upon the numerical value below or within this range or within this range or within this range, so we call it as ordinal because order is important. So this BMI status is a ordinal, right? Now, how to convert or how to transform your BMI variable into BMI category, right? So many times it is required, it is the requirement of the data, right? So look at this, how to do this. So go to the data tab, click on the blank column, right? See, I am here in the data tab. This is a blank column, right? So then simply transform. So as soon as I click on the transform button, it shows the red triangle, right? And then T1, and then to the extreme, it shows the point. Look at this dot. Okay, same kind of dot is there in BMI. Okay, so this dot. Okay, so these are the steps: blank column, data tab, then transform. Okay, after that you have to select, right? So when you double click on that, it will open this, and then you can change this name to, say for example, BMI category or status, say BMI status. Okay, and here you can select the variable, right? So what is the source variable? Source variable, it is based on the body mass index. It is based on the body, sorry. Now here you can change this, that is a BMI status. Okay, it is a BMI status. Now source variable, that means on the basis of which variable you want to compute or you want to transform the convert it into a category. On the basis of BMI I want to convert, right? Now here if you click on this, so actually this is from the older version of the my file, so let us remove that. Okay, it shows you only two options, none and create new transform. So just click on the new transform, a new window will pop up, right? This is the new window, it will pop up. So here you can as add BMI category, right? And you can use the description, right? And here we have the formula, that is source, right? This is the source, and then we have to add the condition based upon this, right? Just try to understand this table and the recoding condition, right? Look at this. If the body mass index of a person is less than 18.5, we have to use underweight, right? Just focus on the upper value, 18.5, below 18.5, right? Then below 24.9, below 29.9. So that we have to specify here. Okay. If this condition, use underweight. If this condition, use normal weight. If this condition, use overweight. If the third condition, use fourth condition, use obese, right? After the fourth condition, fifth is obvious. That means if all of these four conditions are not satisfied, it means that the BMI is above 35. So that individual belongs to extremely obese categories, right? Now, how to do this? So look at this. We have to add the conditions, right? We have to add the conditions. So look at this. If source, right? Now try to understand this. It is very tricky and very small. So there is a, see, if source, so source already we have selected BMI, and this is less than. So this very small triangle, blue triangle is there. Okay. So just click on that, less than, right? And here we have to use 18.5. Okay. And then we have to add here, it is simply uh, underweight. Okay. Underweight. Done. Then go for the 1 minute. Okay. So then again, you have to add one more condition, right? We have to add one more condition. What is the next condition? Less or equal to 24.9. So again, click on this button and then less or equal to, and then 24.9, 24.9, and then it is under the normal category, right? So here we have to use normal. Okay. So this is how, just go on adding the conditions, right? Go on adding the conditions. Again, less or equal to, so 29.9, and then it is overweight. So here you can use overweight. Okay. Same way, you have to add one more condition, right? Again, select less or equal to, and the condition, what is the condition? It is 34.9. Okay. So here it is 34.9, right? And it is called obese, right? Sorry. It is 34.9. 1 minute. Okay. And then in the else part, no need to give any condition, and we can say extremely obese. Okay. So once you finish this, right? And then click this down arrow, click this up arrow, and you can see for every individual, look at this, based on the body mass index column, every individual is classified into different categories, right? Every individual is classified into different categories, right? So this is how we can transform, right? Exactly same way you can use this Z score, Z transformation also. You can calculate the Z score, right? Say for example, I want to add one more variable. Okay. So just double click and new transform variable, sorry, yeah, new transform variable. And suppose I want to calculate based on the BMI, right? Then you can use the create a new transformation. And here in the new transformation, you can use the function as Z score, right? So there is a Z score function. 1 minute. See this Z score function, right? So Z function we can use, or you can use another way, that is Z bracket of the source, right? So Z bracket of the source. That means what is the source variable we have selected? BMI. So what it will do? It will perform the calculation as the BMI of individual minus mean BMI of all respondent divided by the standard deviation of the BMI, and it will compute and create a separate column. Look at this. Your entire column is the BMI, and you can give the title here, that is Z score of BMI. Okay, so this is Z score of BMI. Okay, so look at this Z score of BMI. Okay, so this is how we can compute, transform, right? Same way we can use a filtering of the data, right? Filtering of the data, right? So these options are very simple and very easy. And once you organize your data properly, rest of the part becomes very simple statistical analysis. Okay. Now, in the filtering of data, just click on the filter, right? And here you have to give the condition. See, by default, it shows filter one, and one column is added, first column, that is filter one. Okay. And you have to use the condition here. Say, for example, I want to filter on the basis of, say, for example, gender, right? I have to use gender and female. Okay. Now remember this condition equal to and female. The reason is equal to is a comparison operator. Single equal to is a assignment operator. When we say gender equal to female, that means for that individual gender is female. But when we say gender equal to female, so we are asking a question that whether the gender is female. If female, then keep that data. Otherwise, filter the data. Now look at this. Automatically in the filter column, you can see the green tick mark and red cross. Okay. So whenever, that means for gender equal to male, the data is not available, right? Now, if I analyze this data, if I apply any statistical technique for simplicity, say, let us take this descriptive, right? Descriptive, right? So see again, when I click on the descriptive tab, exploratory and the descriptive tab, right? It shows, it will open up a new window, right? So your Excel sheet, your spreadsheet is in the background. Okay. Say for example, wait, and then click on this arrow, or you can drag and drop. So look at this descriptive weight. Actually, what is N? 48. But in my data, I have 100 respondent, right? So why I am getting this? Because it is filtered the data, right? So 48 females are there, right? And it gives me the descriptive summary, mean, median, standard deviation for only female respondent, right? It is only for the female respondent, right? Now, when I double click on this, and when I disable the filter, when I disable the filter, right? So I have disabled the filter, right? And see, in my output, it shows 100 respondent, right? See, the filter column is disabled, right? So it shows for the all 100 respondent. Okay. So this is how we can use filtering, right? You can add one more filter, right? Say for example, you can enable that. You can add one more filter, right? And here you can use the condition like this, and education equal to, right? Say for example, and for simplicity, let us take SES equal to. Say for example, it is LES. Okay. So when I use this, so sorry, something is okay. So this equal to, okay. So look at this. SCS equal to LES, right? So entire, and again, look at the output, right? So female and belongs to low economical status. There are only 18 respondent. So see, this type of dynamic output is not possible in SPSS, right? So this is how we can add filter, one filter, two filter, and you can recode the data, you can transform the data, right? And remember, if you are using Jamovi, don't forget to add these two references which appears in your output window, right? Don't forget to add these references in your research article, right? Those who wants more help, so this is one another uh, link from where you can download learning statistics with Jamovi, a simple tutorial for psychological students. Okay, so this is all about, again, we have a community, Jamovi community or Jamovi forum. From there also you can uh, collect the material. Okay, so just 1 minute. Okay, now this is all about the Jamovi, understanding Jamovi, overview of Jamovi. I hope you enjoyed it, because it is related to software. So obviously in software, so you have to practice, hands-on is required, but because the session is online, so just my presentation, I have created the presentation in a very lucid manner. All the steps, all the screenshots I have included, right? So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me your questions. Hello.
You can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. Participants, if you have any doubt, please unmute yourself and ask.
Or you can type in the comment chat box also. Thank you. Thank you, Mohan Dos. Thank you, Divini.
Good evening, sir.
I have, yeah, Bhagya Lakshmi. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. I will try my best to answer your question. And I will share the presentation and the data file, right? Both the data file. So just explore this, and remember, without exploring, you will not understand, right? How to category the age as low, medium, and high. Okay, actually you can divide it, right? You can divide up to certain age, between the ages, say for example below 20, or 20 to 30, or 30 to 40, and so on. So it again depends upon the research question, but you can divide, you can categorize the age also, right? But you cannot call it as low age, or medium age, or high age, right? You can call it as, say for example, school going children's, right? Or college going, and higher education, like that you can categorize.
Sir, there was a
Obviously.
query, small query
Yeah.
from my side.
Yes.
I
Yes.
have texted in the chat box also. How many rows, data rows, does Jamovi accept for data analysis in one data file at a time?
at a time. So actually there is no specific value, but you can add up to I think 10,000, 20,000 or more than that.
Okay.
But there is a provision, you can increase that also.
Acha, there is a provision in settings.
Yeah. In not in settings, but in commands. Actually, as I told you, Jamovi is R based, right? So
Okay.
in R we have that Jamovi module. So in the Jamo in even in R programming also we can increase the memory, right? In R programming also we can increase the memory so that use data, big data, large number of rows, large number of columns can be handled in R. So the same thing applies to Jamovi also.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Sir, thank you for stepwise. Thank you very much. Uh, how does Jamovi accept the data in one data file? How many? Okay, that is over. Okay, so question arises when we try hands-on. Definitely, Bhagya. So hands-on is necessary and it is compulsory. So if you really want to learn, so you have to do hands-on. And see my data file, the data file which I am sharing, hard study, it has different types of columns. Uh, Nominal data, ordinal data, scale data is there. So you can just practice on that, right? Create different column, transform column, right? You can use logarithmic transformation. Say, for example, we have the blood data about blood group, blood pressure. So you can use logarithmic transformation for plotting the graph or using some different kind of regression, right? So practice is required. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the session. Your response shows that it is very informative. So thank you very much. Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, today's session was very interesting. A few words to thank, sir. Sir, we extend our sincere appreciation to you for your invaluable guidance in demystifying data analysis using Jamovi and introducing us to this powerful statistical software. Sir, your expertise and patient instructions have empowered us to navigate Jamovi's interface with confidence and utilize its functionalities effectively for data visualization, analysis, and interpretation. SAR's dedication in facilitating our understanding and proficiency with Jamovi has been instrumental in enhancing our analytical capabilities and fostering a deeper appreciation for statistical analysis. We are immensely grateful for this expertise and guidance, which have undoubtedly enriched our learning experience and expanded our horizons in the field of data science. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. So we believe that I have sent already the links to their mails. They will practice and come tomorrow for the next session. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. So today we have sent the links for both the sessions for 15th to our mail. Everything to the mail we will send. As soon as receive the file from sir, I will send you to the mail.
Okay.
Through the mail only, all the data will be shared.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Okay, see you tomorrow. You check your mail for the YouTube